It is hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, baby. Let's go.
Nice.
It is hour number 2. And welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show, man. Thank y'all for rocking with your boy late in the afternoon. I had all intention, man, getting up this morning and doing the show, but I just couldn't. I'm going to keep it real with you. I just couldn't. And if I did do it, I could have fought through it, but it would have been, subpar at best. So I had to, drink up, get my water in my system or whatever, man, and detox a little bit and get some of that alcohol out my system. And we come in here this evening, man, do a late afternoon show. It's all good. So inevitably, man, a great game last night. And we'll take some of your calls at 404-382-0338. If we got any, as well as I'm going to read some of the chat here in a second, but inevitably after the game last night, man, the question was that the greatest national championship game ever? I will say not that fast. Slow down. I mean, we've had a lot of great national championship games. So I put up a little list here of some of the reminders of the particular years and some of the games. The number one game to me still, like last night was phenomenal. It was a personal side to it for me as well. So I could easily pick last night's game, man. But still to me, and I'm sure a lot of y'all are going to agree, man, the national championship game from 2006 with Texas and USC. At the end of that game, in dramatic fashion, Vince Young scores the touchdown. I mean, that's still number one in my eyes. Still number one in my eyes. You could go back to the Miami-Nebraska game. Miami won their national championship in 1984 under Howard Schnellenberger. That was their second bowl game since 1967. The first national championship. That was big. So in 1984, your boy was 15 years old. I was real into football then. The whole Miami controversy, the convicts and the Catholics, and Miami were these bad boy players, and they were always in trouble or whatever. The Rude Boys. And so I love the Miami Hurricanes from back in the day. What about the national championship between Miami and Ohio State back in 2002-2003 season, where Ohio State actually stole a national championship from the Hurricanes? Wow, Miami's in a lot of these games. What about Penn State-Miami back in 1987, where Penn State won their first national championship? That was a great game. They had the interception at the end of that one with Pete Giftopoulos. That's the guy's name. Got that interception at the end of the game. We've been seeing a lot of these on the 30 for 30s and that type of stuff, so they're kind of like in our recent memory in our minds. What's another one out of this list that they have here? Nebraska-Miami, 1995, as well as they have listed the national championship from just a couple of years ago when Florida State came back from 18 points to beat Auburn in the national championship, Jameis Winston. But, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem putting the game from last night, and a lot of people put last year's game into the conversation, and especially if you're an Alabama fan. That was a great game last year. Nick Saban had to use trickery to win at the very end, the onside kick, something that he rarely does, that type of thing. Very conservative coach. So these past 2 years, man, you could easily put into the conversation of at least like the last 40 years. And I guess if I had to rank them, I would still put the national championship game with USC and Vince Young at number one. And then I think I could put in number two the game from last night where the Clemson Tigers got it done, man, and beat Alabama. And you know what else is funny? You know what else is funny? I think that we should even give more credit to Clemson for winning this game last night, because before last night, over the last couple of days, the last week or so, ever since we found out that it was going to be a repeat, there's been a lot of stories to come out saying that Alabama, statistically, and by the players and and the recruits, the guys that actually were on this defense, had the best defense in college football history. Really? The best defense in college football history, and you give up 35 points in the national championship bowl game? Oh, yeah, you gave up 40 points last year, but this year in particular, this is the best defense in college football history, and you give up 35 points? Oh, hell no. No. No, 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 no. No, no. We've seen so many great defenses over the years, man. I just talked about a couple of them. The Miami teams, man, that had nothing but first-rounders up and down the depth chart on that defense, on their defenses many, many times, man. I would put over this Alabama defense. Last night, they didn't show up. They didn't show up last year either. So I don't want to hear no more talk about them being the best defense. You can talk about some of the Nebraska defenses under Tom Osborne. Man, we've seen too many great defenses just say that a team that gave up 35 points in a can't-lose situation, national championship game, is the best defense of all time. I'm not buying it. Hell no. Hell no. From T-Dub, a lot of commentators are eating crow today. Can't even listen to that BS. You better believe it. From that ninja, if Alabama had the best defense, shouldn't we be talking about their defensive coach as opposed to their offensive coordinator? Maybe so. From Clay Roll Davis, you got a tongue-twisted name today, sir, and your team lost. That 2011 Bama team is way better than this Bama team. And you know what? I can't even, and I said this a couple of days ago, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Nick Saban has had so many good teams. This would have been his 5th national championship with Alabama. He's had so many good teams, and from my memory, it seems like every year, you know, they get into the championship game or they're in the contention for winning another national championship. They're like, oh, this year's the best defense that Saban's ever had. This year's the best defense that we've ever seen on the college football field. Like every year they said they kind of like they mesh together. I can't really differentiate between what they're saying this year and what they said 5 years ago. So I don't know, man. It is what it is. You got to take it for what it is, a grain of salt, and just watch the damn games. From Tight Sigma, hey, Doug, what do you think of the loser Auburn fans celebrating by rolling Toomer's corner? Typically, they do that after a win. So I didn't even know that they had done that last night. So I guess if Alabama loses, Auburn wins, huh? Is that the way they look at it? And so what they do is there's this Toomer's corner, and there was a big story about it a couple of years ago. One of the Alabama fans like poison these trees that they have. They call it Toomer's Corner. This part of Auburn's campus. And they roll the trees with toilet tissue after a big win or whatever. And so I guess that if Alabama loses, in effect, Auburn wins. I guess. I didn't even hear about that story. You just told me about it for the first time. From Corey Clay. What about the 2 pick plays for touchdowns? Or saying that penalty at the end was in the end zone when it was at the 2-yard line? Just saying call both sides. Now, I will say this about this game last night. It appeared to me that Clemson did get away with a lot of tomfoolery with them pick plays in the end zone. Yeah. Yeah, I could understand you being mad, especially the last touchdown, where clearly, you know, they run like an out pattern and basically the inside slot man runs like to the flats. He goes like straight across to the flats. The outside guy goes down like a little in pattern, like a little slant, and bumps into the defensive back that's supposed to cover the slot guy going to the outside. That happened a couple times last night. I got to be honest with you. I would have been real shitting if that was my team. I'm being honest. I would have been very, very mad. Or let me not put it like this. I would have been very, very concerned. Yeah, I'm going to keep it real. Yeah, those plays look like some BS. Hey, but guess what? They do it all the time. And it seems like half the time they call it, and the other half of the time they don't. And last night they didn't call it, I don't know. Yeah, I will agree. Y'all know good and well I'm rooting for Clemson. I rooted for Clemson last night, rooted for Clemson all year, last couple of years under Dabble there for a national championship because they had the type of talent that could do it. But, yeah, if I was a fan of Alabama, I would be kind of PO'd about that. I would be. Yeah, there is that. I'm keeping it real. But, hey, I'm not an official. All right? I'm not an official, so don't blame me. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Were the plays kind of suspect? Yeah. From Ty Sigma, he says, dude crab blocked my wide receiver in the end zone. Yeah, he did crab block him in the end zone. Yeah, I would feel some type of way. I'm gonna keep it real. When I saw them plays, especially when they rewound them, when they showed the replay, and you clearly see the outside man just running into the inside defensive back, and they didn't, they basically sat on their whistles. I was like, yeah, it's destiny. Them Tigers gonna win it all tonight. Yes, sir. Hey, when we get back from the break, we still got a lot about this game that I want to get into, man. But let's talk a little bit about some birthdays and some entertainment, all right? I mean, we're going to have fun around here. We're going to keep it real, too. We're going to keep it real. That was kind of suspect. Them calls that they missed, they were kind of suspect, yeah. Don't go away. The Doug Stewart Show, I would have been pissed off. You're right.